Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pucks and Powerplays podcast brought to you by Boston Sports Entertainment Network. You can find BSEN on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at BSEN_617. You can find the podcast at Pucks and PP's Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And now TikTok. I got our TikTok set up and a Threads connected to our Instagram, which that one didn't take much effort. But we're now on TikTok as well. And Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to play your podcasts, you can listen to us there, or you can find us here on YouTube. And my name is Ellie. You can find me at Hyper Emmy. Liz, where can the people find you?
You can find me at Liz__Fraser.
And we are back. And we are streaming to our Instagram for the first time. So here we go there.
Yay!
We love that. Making sure that's up and running. We are on Twitter. We're on YouTube. We are here and ready to party, people, because we have a full episode. A lot of things happened in Bruins land this week, which is really great. Some of these things we're going to kind of just shoot through. But we got a new assistant coach. We had a contract signing today. We've got potentially some new jerseys. We've got some new branding. We've got a roster for development camp. We have the draft happening on Friday.
We have trade rumors.
We have Brad Marchand winning the Stanley Cup and then going bananas on social media. I think we should start there personally. Bananas on social media. And trade rumors, some big trades happening in the NHL that I was not personally suspecting. No big ones for us currently, right as of this very minute, as at 7:09 Eastern Time. We do not have any big confirmed trades happening with the Bruins. But that could go out the window because the Ducks trade today completely threw me for a loop. I don't know what's happening. What do you think?
Signing? They did something on a Monday for once and before the podcast.
Yes.
Something's in the air.
Let's address the shirt first, and then we'll go to Mr. Social Media Crazy Pants. I'm wearing a very special shirt. For those who don't know what this shirt is, I made a bet at one point that if Mason had scored a goal, I think this was right before our podcast started. I think I made this on Chirpin on Causeway. That if Mason had scored a goal that week, he'd only had one goal so far in the season. This was like late December, I think. If he had scored a goal that week, I was going to buy a shirt with his face on it. That is this shirt. I'm wearing this shirt today because this morning we got a Mason Lohrei contract extension.
Whoop!
Woo! I think I speak for both of us when I say we are very excited for this.
We are marked safe from losing him during free agency.
Gucci Mace, Mr. Lowrider, is confirmed to be back next year. If you don't know what we're referencing, go find Bruins TikTok, please. If you don't follow the Bruins on TikTok, you truly need to.
You need to. It's an experience on Bruins TikTok.
But we are very excited. He got a 2-year extension, which I think is pretty on par for what we were expecting. 3.2 cap. Some people were surprised by that amount. I saw a really great thing from Brett had posted it that with the new cap, the higher cap, that's about equivalent to a 2.5 mil this year. So when you take in the higher cap, the cap increase this year, it would be about the same as a 2.5 this year. So
we're going to see a lot of high numbers this year. I feel like that are going to look really out of place. But with the high cap, everything's just going to go up. And we're going to have to get used to that equivalent. And we're going to see that for the next, 2-3 years because of how high it's going up each year.
Yeah, it's a substantial cap raise. Sorry, I just heard Austin talking, and I was like, "Are you trying to talk to me? Because I'm on here. I can't talk to him." No, he's on.
He doesn't exist right now.
He doesn't exist. It's not real. But I think that's fair. 2 years. I think what most people were expecting were 8 at a lower price, or 2 years at this slightly higher rate, which I think it's fair. He, I tweeted it earlier. He led power play points for defensemen. He had the highest number of assists for defensemen this year, and maybe points for defensemen this year. Yes, he had 33 points this year, 5 goals, 20 assists, and led Boston defense in assists, point, and power plays. Why can't I say it? Power play points this last year. You also have to take into account we didn't have McAvoy for the entire year. We didn't have Hampus Lindholm for the entire year. He's only 24. I think that speaks a lot to how he has grown.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean this in a negative way towards Mason, but also the lack of, I don't want to say talent on our defense, because that's not true. We do have other talented defensive players. But like, yeah, maybe. But
like,
go ahead.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like, McAvoy is kind of more offensive than he is defensive, but he's both.
Yeah,
I feel like he kind of filled that spot of what both of them were, so he was the only one doing that.
Yeah, he's definitely more of an offensive defenseman.
Yeah.
Which I think Boston needs more defensive defensemen as we look at the scores of games last year, as we look at what was happening in front of the net last year. Having some space or like Charlie is great, but I think it'll be interesting to see as we switch into a defensively minded coach this year, how potentially their playing styles are going to change a little bit, or if they do, I guess, at all.
I feel like his will be easier to change because he's younger. And like it worked with, even with all the high scores we had, like against and all the goals we let in, it still worked with him being more offensive because we didn't have that in a defenseman at all with Hampus and McAvoy being out.
Mm-hmm.
But with them being back, you can't really have half of your defense not really being defense, especially when 2 of them are on a line together.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be very interesting. I'm excited that he's staying. I think he's one that we haven't, well, we kind of talked about him last week, but we've been, I use a collective we the people, have been focused on the Geeky trade a lot, and maybe not looking at some, or Geeky contract more. And then you have contracts like Lowry or Hutsunov that are also waiting. So I'm glad we got this one out of the way. Not out of the way.
It was a needed one.
Yes. I'm happy he'll be here.
I feel like we talked about his contract like last week too, and I think we talked about like the $3 million range for him.
Yeah. Yeah, either last week or the week before we had made some guesses. Let's go to our other signing of the week. We have a new assistant coach.
Woo!
I'm excited. Steve Spott has been named as the, I believe, final. He is our 4th assistant coach. I think he will be our final assistant coach from the sounds of it. For this year. He previously was with the Dallas Stars And he is going to be focusing on our special teams, which, as we have talked about ad nauseum throughout the year, need some support.
Mm-hmm. And Dallas had a pretty good power play the past few seasons with him. I know they dipped the previous just now, but they were still pretty in the middle of the league, which is a lot better than where we were. So I'll take it.
Yes, during his time as an assistant coach with the Dallas Stars, their regular season record is 149, 68, 29, the best in the NHL over that span. And the power play had a 23.7% success rate over the past 3 seasons, which is 7th in the NHL. Way better than our 30th that we ended the season with.
I like that. I'll take that.
Yeah. Listen, anything's better than 30th, okay? But I think it's very interesting that our head coach, Sturm, had specifically said that he was going to be working on special teams. I think this was something that Bruins fans were looking for coming into this year, was anybody except for who had previously been running. I'll be interested to see how Chris Kelly's role changes next year, though.
I could see him being a penalty kill guy because that's what he did in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that could work out. Maybe try putting him where he played.
Yeah. I think it'll be nice to have something. I think that's personally what I'm looking forward to most, is having something fresh. And I think these coaches, other than yes, having new blood in as coaches, I think these coaches think differently than the past few coaches that we've had and have a different mindset than we've had the past few coaches. And I think at this point, we need to switch up.
Yeah. I feel like we haven't had full-on defensive Bruins hockey throughout the entire roster in years.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had Bergeron. We had one guy who would essentially do it for the forwards. Yeah. And then you had all the defensemen who would do it.
Yeah. Big bad Bruins. We'll see if the big bad Bruins make a comeback. It'll be interesting. But I think I'm excited for this. It sounds like he was really great with Dallas. Sounds like he's had a lot of success there. Previous to that, he was with the Vegas Golden Knights and then San Jose Sharks before that. So I think it's going to be great. No, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but I think his success with the Dallas Stars speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
I think especially with Sturm at the helm, it's just his success in the AHL, and then the Stars have been so good in the last 3 years. I think bringing in 2 coaches that have had that success when our success has been on the decline, it's potential. What I hope happens is that it amps everything up just that much more.
Especially because they know what's missing too. They went out and said hey, we need this, we need that. Okay, we're getting a top guy in this field because we need that. Getting all of that is a really good sign as well, that they know the pieces that are missing within the team.
Yeah. Everyone else watching baseball, me keeping track of off-season hockey. No, same. We have been keeping a very close eye on these Red Sox trades this week because we are Red Sox fans as well. But definitely, this is I'm excited that we're getting like news again for the Boston Bruins.
I know now it's like swapping back and forth, and it's like, okay, I'm no longer just focusing on baseball. Now we have hockey again.
We have hockey. Oh, to officially close out this season as well. After we got off the podcast last Monday, the Florida Panthers won the Stanley Cup.
It was Brad Marchand all by himself. As our group chat likes to say, it was Brad and the former Bruins that won, so really the Bruins won.
Yes, former Bruins that were also on the team. Nozak Greer, Jesper Bachvist, Gregory Campbell, and then Rob Tallis and Sean Thornton, who, of course, knew Bradley very well. I hate seeing the Florida Panthers go back to back. I'm glad this season's over. I'm very happy for Marchie. And
I don't think he'll be happy in like a month when he's finally not drunk.
There is no way that man has been sober at all this week.
He's partying like he's 23 all over again, and I think he's forgetting that he's 37, and when the hangover hits, it's going to hit him for like a year.
I'm also very sad that he didn't like reactivate his Twitter for us, because I feel like Brad Twitter is truly peak. Like that was his that was his reputation era. I don't know Taylor Swift. I'm actually not going to talk about that. I don't know Taylor Swift. Somebody stop me before I start.
It's his own reputation era. It's reputation era Brad version. There you go.
Brad version, yes. He truly was another type of human when he was on the Twitter. And I'm really sad that we're being deprived of that right now, because I feel like it would be so funny, because his Instagram stories right now are ridiculous. And I hope that man got paid for that Dairy Queen shenanigans last week. He better have gotten paid for that. He better be making bank off Dairy Queen right now.
Oh, he better. He had an entire blizzard. The Brad blizzard. He better be getting paid.
I'm also really sad that I didn't find out about that until like way later, because I live in Florida, and I'm like, was it a whole Florida thing or just like a Miami thing?
I was really hoping they were going to have it up here, and I worked that night, and I was like, so what if we stop at Dairy Queen after work and see if they do it up here? And my mom's like, it's only where they are. And I'm like, but he's from Boston. Do you know how much money they would make if they did it up in Massachusetts as well? Like,
yes. Truly, so much money out the window.
I want my Brad Blizzard. I don't care if he's not serving it. I get it. He was serving it. I just want the Brad Blizzard to say I got the Brad Blizzard.
Yes. Yes. I'm telling you, if he's not getting paid off of this,
he's going to be working at Dairy Queen's like all summer now.
He's going to retire and own a Dairy Queen. Give him a Dunkin' and a Dairy Queen.
There you go.
Brad's manager, if you can hear us.
A Dunkin' Queen, if you will.
A Dunkin' Queen? Oh my God. Bradley is the Dunkin' Queen. Oh, that's great. I love that. Can we make that a t-shirt?
Yes. We'll make little pins or something with it.
Yes. Oh.
And just a rat under it so we know it's about Brad.
That's great. We gotta have Josh make a t-shirt for us now. That's really funny. Dunkin' Queen. But I think I speak for both of us when I say we are very happy for him. This has been a very long road. I think for potentially a lot of Bruins fans, this was what makes the trade worth it.
Yeah. He got his cup. I'm happy for him. Now bring it home so we can all see it.
I think it is the biggest pipe dream of ours that will never happen as he comes home this summer. I doubt it will happen. It's going to be who can bring him the most money this offseason, and it's not going to be us.
I saw the stuff with some teams offering him like $8+ million. Yeah.
And we wouldn't even do 6.
Just come home.
Allegedly.
Please.
I mean, he took team-friendly deals for so often, though, for so many years, and then just went and dominated this Stanley Cup series. I think he deserved more than $6 million before this.
Mm-hmm.
I think after this, it only proves it even more.
I feel like I know it was a whole culture thing. Like Chara, Krejci, Bergeron, Marshy all took extremely team-friendly deals. They all should have been paid way more than what they ever.
Yeah.
And I think that's also like a thing to the front office too, with him not wanting to do that again, was like, hey, the culture's already shifted. We knew it. It wasn't everyone's going to take the team-friendly deal so we can get every single superstar.
Yeah.
It's changing, and I feel like that also kind of hit them in the negotiations of like, you don't have the same team you've had this entire time that you've been trying to rebuild and redo.
Yeah. Well, and at what point is it like you're sacrificing part of your career? I would get it if it was earning the team anything. If the team was winning the conference even. But you're taking team-friendly deals and you're not progressing in your career because he's already captain. There's nothing else you can do there. You know it's not going to get you a Stanley Cup at this point. So at what point, and I guess the answer is this season, at what point is a team-friendly deal just like it's hurting yourself more than anything? Like you're not progressing. I feel like for somebody as competitive as Marchand, that's also potentially like a punch in the gut too, is like, okay, I'm already at the top of my career. I'm doing the most I can for the team. What am I getting in return at this point? And I think we saw that a little bit this year. So good for him for doing what he needs to do.
I also don't like how it's like expected of him. He did it his entire career, and like, I get it. He did it for a reason, but you shouldn't expect him to continue to do that.
And why does our captain always have to do it? Like, they're the captain. I hope whoever the next captain is doesn't have to be put in this position by leadership and by the front office.
I don't think they will, considering it's either Pasta or McAvoy, and both of them make a lot of money.
Yes.
I remember when both of them signed their deals and everyone was freaking out because they were the first non-team friendly contracts we had in a while. And people were losing their minds about how greedy both of them had to be and how they didn't care about the team.
Welcome to the 2020s. Like truly, it is era of like understanding your worth and going after it. And I think there's also been a higher awareness of the damage that is done to your body in the last few years. And we talk about this all the time. But I think these guys have started to like recognize that like it's not worth it.
No. If you're not getting paid the money to then like suffer everything they suffer or go through extremely extensive like surgeries and treatments because of these injuries, like I wouldn't do it.
No.
Unless you're paying me like the big bucks.
Yeah. But congratulations to Sweet Bradley.
I want to go back in time to 2011 and like actually see what his Twitter and Instagram were like at that time.
Oh, I know. That'd be so fun.
Like, that's all I want to know. I want a side-by-side comparison of him right now and what he was doing at 23, and I bet you they're the exact same. He's just older in these ones.
Yes, that's so funny. I bet, though.
Like, he went crowd surfing, holding the cup.
How is his body able to do anything? I'm concerned.
It's because he's not, I don't know. He hasn't stopped drinking. That's the only reason his body's able to do it. He hasn't stopped drinking. Have you seen the photo of him with what? The twisted like tea, the beer, and the coffee?
Coffee, yes. See the one of him in the elbow room sweatshirt yesterday or the day before? Dude is living his best life, and I'm so here for it.
I wish him the best of luck when he finally gets to his hangover, though.
It's gonna hurt.
It's gonna be a bitch. Let's be real. Like, that's gonna...
I'm scared.
I don't wish that on anyone.
Mm-mm. Well, speaking of new captains, the Bruins posted a video yesterday. I'm just going to show the video. And we know one thing for sure. There is new branding happening. And by new, we mean old. They have brought back the original spoked bee from 1948, which personally is one of my favorite spoked bees. But let me pull up the vid. You're gonna pause. Pause right there. Nope, that's not the. I don't want the full video. I just want the teaser video. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Oh, 1 second. You would think I share my screen every single week. You would think I would get used to this at some point. Okay, here we go.
Technology isn't our friend.
That's it. That's the video. But if you look right here, I think we're getting jerseys. Well, I think we're definitely getting jerseys because they've been sharing all of the rebranding. They just posted
the new logo.
Yeah, I'm here for the wallpapers. This is the what I was kind of talking about with the revitalized branding. This is all on their social media, so feel free to take a look. But bringing back the original spoked bees, they are my favorite spoked bees. I just think they stand out better because of the, like, without the outlining. The previous one has had like the black outline with it, this like current-ish one. I think it stands out so much more without the outline around it though, and I love it. I'm so excited.
I love how it combines, like, because it's not exactly the old one, but I also love how it combines like the old one with the new one, because we have the current design of the bee
tail
with how the old one looks, and it's also what we used on our Centennial jerseys during the Centennial season, and I loved it.
I wonder if we're getting Centennial jerseys back as the full-time jerseys.
So many people wanted it. I wanted it.
Or Mike Sullivan posted a photo the other day from Something's Bruin with the kits that had like the yellow socks and yellow shorts, and they were sick. I can't imagine we would do something that retro currently, but I think it'd be sick. You would be able to easily identify us.
I could see it as maybe like a third jersey.
Yeah. I think we also potentially, hopefully, maybe are going to get a captain's announcement this week.
Because you have pasta in the video. So I would assume, but also I could see them waiting till after free agency in case they get like, I don't know, if Brad comes home, do you give it back to him? Or do you give it to someone else? Like, I wonder if that's something they'd talk about instead of just doing it now. Or if they do it now, but only the C and leave the A's up for, like, depending on who they get in free agency.
I can
Because,
see that.
like, if you get, like, Marner or someone, are you going to do, like, McAvoy and Marner as your A's because, you know, it's Marner? Or do you do, like, Hampus and McAvoy or, like, Zadorov in there? There's a lot of names in the ring.
Just based off of the culture that Boston has created, I don't see them giving anybody an A their first year.
No. Maybe with, like, a return player, but not a new one completely.
No.
But a lot of teams do that, so.
It's been a while since we've done predictions. Do we want to do predictions?
Okay.
On captains?
Okay.
So for those who, this is your first time here in a long time, first time here ever, typically at the end of an episode, we do predictions on the upcoming games. We don't have upcoming games. So we also have more to talk about still, so you're not going to hear of us. But let's do predictions on who we think is going to get the captaincy, whether it's announced this week or later in the summer. And let's just assume that Brad is not coming home.
Okay.
Who do you got?
I think Pasta. But it still feels weird because it's like he stepped up throughout the season. He became that leader, and that's why I see it. But it's also like McAvoy was there, and then he couldn't be because he was injured.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like not unfair, but kind of it forced Pasta to have to step up and take it.
Yeah.
But I think it's him. He's in the teaser. He's been posted as like the face of the Bruins essentially for the last half of the season.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think gets the A's?
McAvoy, 100%. He already has it. They're not going to strip it from him.
Mm-mm.
I'm really between Hampus and Zadorov.
Yeah.
I think if they want a new voice, it's going to be Zadorov. And if they keep going in that direction, like with, you know, our new coaches and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if they want someone who has that established like leadership, and I'm not saying he doesn't have it.
Yeah.
But Hampus has been here for a few years. So I could see them rotating it, like with Marshy and Krejci from a few years ago. I could see that happening too.
Yeah. I think mine is so similar. I think I could go either way on the C between Pasta and McAvoy, but I think you're right. I think Pasta being in the room the second half of the season makes a difference. I think for anybody that was in the trenches for that last half of the season, it's going to make a difference to have Pasta have the C. So I think Pasta gets the C. I agree McAvoy keeps his A. There's no reason to take it from him. He's been a great leader. He has a lot of trust from the guys. They look up to him. And I also think I'm torn on Z and Hampus. There's currently like not anybody else that really stands out to me as leader. Also, at the end of this season, those were the four names that were continually mentioned as like the leadership group that were going to be kind of making plans and leading the charge over the summer. I think it'll be really similar thoughts. Like, I think does it make a difference that Hampus wasn't in the room at all last year? Like, does that have an impact when you're going into this year with a new assistant coach, a new head coach, a new playing philosophy, I guess, new power plays? Does it also make a difference to give somebody a letter that wasn't in the room to witness it last year? To like give the guy the letter who I mean, Z stepped up, and we've talked about this previously. He stepped up at the end of the season. He took a lot of hard questions from the press. He pushed back against the press, which I think was important for the team at that time. He's gained a lot of trust in these guys, especially these younger players. He has the experience with other teams as well, which I think is part of my thought process here. Is he does have the experience, which is not like, this is not always a positive, but he has a lot of experience with other teams. Unfortunate situation, but fortunate for us. And I think if you're going in a direction where you're pulling philosophies from other teams, then that actually might benefit you to have a leader that has more experience in that in the past few years, with two guys that have been Bruins since day one.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's gonna loud noises. I think the steak just went in for dinner. I think it's going to be interesting to see who that third one is.
I'm curious how different it would be if, like, Hampus didn't get injured 17 games into the season.
I think it would be...
Like, I know McAvoy got injured, but he came back and then went back out because 4 Nations. Which, not his fault. It almost died. Like,
yeah, truly.
Don't play hockey. Go sit at home. Take care of yourself.
Go take care of your little baby boy, please.
But, like, if Hampus made it at least halfway through the season like McAvoy did, like, how different that conversation would be.
100%. And I think that's, like, the hard part. Is like that changes the dynamic of the team.
Mm-hmm. And it could have changed where we were too, because we did have a better power play when he was there. And then stuff slowly started crumbling.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
It's like an unfair but fair situation, because you don't want to be like, hey, you don't get it because you weren't here, which is unfair. But then it's also like, oh, we're going to give it to him because he wasn't here while you dealt with all of that. So it's like unfair on both ends, really.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like the hard part as well is like Charlie was still going to practices. So like he was still there.
Yeah.
At games, but like Lindy wasn't at practice for a while as well.
Oh, because he had extensive rehab too, so he couldn't do anything.
He couldn't do anything. And like it's no fault of his own. But it definitely sets a different precedent. Like all of these guys that just got signed at the trade deadline don't know Hampus.
Well, they gotta know him, I think, a bit.
From our perspective, I'll say maybe they do. Maybe he was there for other stuff. Maybe he was there for weight training, or things like that. But
because did he end up skating? Was it right before the trade deadline or right after the trade deadline? Were the few times he got to skate and then he just couldn't anymore?
Yeah, it was at 4 Nations. They were saying that he was going to be coming back. And then, or they were trying to make him, like trying to get him to come back. And then by the time trade deadline came around, which was like, 1-2 weeks after 4 Nations, they were saying he was out for the rest of the season. I think the Brad part of the decision was potentially also the Lindy decision. Once our leadership that was traded was gone, I think he decided not to push it, which is totally reasonable. I mean, I think they had decided that they weren't going for the cup.
Yeah, because I know that was the whole thing with McAvoy before he was ruled out, was they had a talk where if they made the playoffs, he would have serious considerations on if he would push it to be able to play.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would have been the same for Hampus at that point if they were still in it.
Yeah. It's a hard decision. I think it's one of the harder parts of this job. How do you just to risk? Again, we talk about this all the time. How do you decide to risk your health like this? Like,
right.
Is it worth it?
And then it's also a matter of, do these guys want the A too? Because obviously McAvoy and Pasta want it. They have it.
Yeah.
The question is, does Pasta want the C? Is he okay with that? And then do Zadorov and Hampus want the A? Do they want that added responsibility, or do they just want to be like a leadership voice?
Yeah. Well, and it was interesting because Pasta didn't take it for the rest of the season, last season.
Mm-mm.
And people assumed that was because he didn't want it. But, I mean, that doesn't necessarily have to be true now. Like, he could have just wanted to ride out the rest of the season.
And it could be a respect thing to Marshy, too, to be like, you were the captain. You're the captain for the season. I'm not taking your spot until, the next season we know you're not coming back.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'm not looking forward to it. Actually, I am, but I'm also not.
I could see some days, though.
Yes, I could too. It's been a while since I've done that. Was that 2019 we did that? No, 2021. I don't know anymore.
We did it at one. Yeah, no, because didn't we split it between Pasta and McAvoy when Krejci left for a year?
We've done it a couple of times.
Because I know it was...
Because Charlie also had it at some point. Charlie had it at some point.
I'm going to look this up now, because I think there's a list of this.
There was like a bouncing A for a little bit.
Backus had the A? I totally forgot about that.
That feels so random in my brain.
2018 and 2018 to 2019 and 2019 to 2020, it was him, Krejci, Bergeron, and Marshy with the A. So he must have swapped out with Krejci and Brad. Because Bergeron had the A consistently.
That feels insanely random. I do understand that, but that he feels so like those are also the lost years in my brain still. So that's so interesting. Those are the years
I didn't have the A until 23-24.
Who didn't?
McAvoy. He's only had
it was pretty recent. Yeah.
It was Carlo and Pasta in 21-22. They were the alternating ones.
Oh, I thought it was Coyle. No, you're right, Carlo. Ugh.
I think Coyle was like, if they were both out, Coyle would get it.
Yeah.
Because I know he had it a few games in a few different seasons, but he's not listed on there, so I don't think he was like the official one. He was like the backup.
Yeah. Interesting, because he wore it a couple times. No, maybe it wasn't this year. Maybe it was 23-24.
No, I think he wore it this year too.
Yeah.
Carlo also wore it this year, I think.
The ever bouncing A of the Boston Bruins.
I'm going to make a proper list. I think I still have all of the lines saved of like who had the A every single game.
I'm here for it.
I'll make some like spreadsheet or something. I don't know.
You guys aren't aware, Liz loves a good spreadsheet.
I do. They're fun.
I'm here for it. Well, now we get to talk about our baby Bruins. Because we got a lot of baby Bruins things happening in the next 2 weeks. So this weekend is the draft.
Woo!
Woo. And then starting next Monday, we've got development camp. Whee! So let's go draft first, because then anybody who is drafted and able to make it will be at development camp with the current selected roster, and we'll share that here in a minute as well. But this weekend is the NHL draft, and that is going to start on a Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then that'll be round one. The rest of the rounds will be on a Saturday. LA Live's Peacock Theater in Los Angeles is where it will be. And we have 7 picks. So it'll be interesting. We gained a lot of picks this year at the trade deadline with our trades. Almost every trade had a draft pick in it, which helped us out a lot. I think we only had 2 or 3 before the trade deadline. It was a very big conversation piece about the last few. I sounded British when I said Saturday. Yes, I did. But it has been a very big conversation around the draft right now with our history in the most recent years with draft picks and lack thereof.
And there's also talk about even if we'll have our first round pick come Friday.
Yeah.
If what I'm seeing is right, I don't want to do that trade.
Which rumor? There's too many.
The one with the Islanders. We give them our 7th. We get, what is it, Pajot and someone else?
Yeah.
I think maybe Dobson was in on it, which I'm fine with him, but not, both of those are not for a first round.
Mm-mm. I can't keep up with all the rumors.
There's too many. And all of a sudden they're coming out about Boston, which is weird because they never come out about Boston.
Oh, Friedman talked a lot this morning. Yeah, I haven't read any of this yet today. This is a me issue. I'm fully aware. I do not like the way the NHL runs the draft. I think drafting a player who is potentially not going to see the ice for 7 years in some cases is ridiculous. I truly think the NFL has the right idea with once you declare that you are going into the draft, you, I believe, lose your eligibility in the NCAA after that. Like, you cannot be redrafted. You can't play NCAA. Somebody feel free to correct me. We obviously know that I don't pay attention to drafting with football. I pay enough attention to know what's going on. That's about it. But you can't, once you've been drafted, you can't play in NCAA. So most guys wait until they are seniors to be drafted so that they're not losing out on their eligibility. And then they go finish their degree for the last 2 months of school and then start pro camp 2 weeks after they graduate. I think drafting 16, 17-year-old guys who, like, we don't know what's going to happen in the 2 to 7 years before they get to the NHL. Like, they could not develop into anything. And we
not to defend Sweeney, but we have seen it with his choices. Soroil was like projected to be where he was or even higher than that, like top 10. And then he fell and we grabbed him. And that was like an acceptable pick at the time.
Yeah.
And he was doing okay. He wasn't great, but he was doing good. He was getting there, had his injury, relapsed, and never got back up to that level.
Yeah.
But he didn't come out like a superstar, like some of the other guys after him did.
Yeah. And then you have these guys that, like, I think we see it with some of these guys that do wait to be drafted until they are older. When they are, like, sophomores, juniors in college, and sometimes they forfeit the last few years to go play once they are drafted. They don't have to, though. But drafting the rights to a player is just so crazy to me.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was weird how Ryan Leonard was basically already with the Capitals, but went back to still play with Boston College. It's very strange. I think Zellers right now is a really great example of that. The Bruins just got his rights as a player in a trade this last trade deadline. He is still in high school playing on the Green Bay Gamblers, which is an NAHL or NA3HL. But that is considered a juniors team, but it's a high school development league. They go and they live at a I forget what they're called. It's not a boarding house. They live with a family. Can't remember. But you're essentially like a transfer student to go play hockey. But like you don't really go to school. You go to practice, then you get homeschooled, and then you go play games on the weekends. I will say, though, Mason Lowry did play for the Green Bay Gamblers. And Zellers is one of the top players right now. But they are... Oh, Tier 1 Junior Ice Hockey. USHL. There's also so many freaking divisions of juniors hockey. I can't keep any of them straight.
There's like 20 different ones within it.
It's so crazy. NAHL, NA3HL, OHL, QJ, MHL, I forget what that one is. USHL, like...
Mm-hmm. And then throw in the Canadian ones, too.
Yeah.
You have, like, what is it? The QSMHL or something. Like,
yeah. Quebec has their own system. Yeah.
Then you have different systems within different regions of the U.S., too. Like, you have some for, like, the East, some for the West, some for only the North, some for only the South, some for, like, the Southwest specifically. Like,
yeah. When I lived in Iowa, we had an NAHL and an NA3HL, but their logos are the same. So it's Northern Iowa Bulls and Mason City Toros, or Mason City Bulls and Northern Iowa Toros. The logos are the same, so they just use all the same stuff. But they flip guys up and down between them all the time. And there's not much of a difference between the two leagues. There's like that much of a difference between the leagues. But they go and live with a family, and the family gets paid to like house them and take them to practice and stuff. But it's just so crazy to me that the NHL were drafting high school students that may or may not see the ice ever.
And then they get all the spotlight on them, and you have the people who, like we saw in previous years, will literally stalk them and their family.
It's terrifying. We have talked about this a few times, but it is terrifying the amount of scrutiny these children are under once they're drafted. Oh yeah. There's a lot.
There's too many teams up here, at least, like in Mass alone.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Well, and I want to say, like, in order to play for Team USA Juniors, you have to play for a USHL team. You can't, I don't know. It's so weird. Because then it bleeds into all of that, like, Team USA eligibility and all of that stuff. Like,
it bleeds into like 5 different eligibilities, and it's like, okay, which one?
I will say though, like, they are very interesting games to go to.
Yeah.
And they're cheap. Like, we used to go to who do I have? Oh, Chippewa Steel is the other one. They're NIHL in Wisconsin. We used to live down the street from the arena. It is really cool to see. And you'll see, like, the different leagues also kind of go with, like, D1 versus D3. So you'll see a lot of guys in NAHL and NA3HL going to D3 schools versus, like, USHL is typically, like, more D1 tier. But they're cool to go to. I mean, they're cheap. They're fast-paced for high school level guys. It's hard to keep track of who's on the team because they are getting traded in and out all the time. But they are great hockey players for being 15, 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
They're cheap and it's a lot of fun. You potentially can get signatures from guys that will be in the NHL. You never know. So they are fun. Those kids work hard, but it's crazy to me that we're drafting their rights.
Oh, yeah. And then, like, I looked something up because I have worked junior games before as, like, a timekeeper. Yeah. And I've done, like, a few different leagues. They don't have the same rules. Their rules are different on, like, what classifies as what. And, you know, in some games, like, oh, this hit is an automatic 5 in a game. And in this one, oh, you can get a 2-minute penalty for it. And it's, like, a boarding call. And it's, like, you would think at juniors it would be the same across multiple different leagues, but it's not. And it's just, I don't know. I don't get it. It's weird.
It is. It is. That was a soapbox moment. It's been a while since we've done a good soapbox. But the Bruins have 7 picks. So as of 2:30 this afternoon, this was last updated, it looked like, the Bruins have pick 7 in the first round. In the second round, we have pick 51 and pick 61. Liz and I were trying to figure out where that second pick in the second round came from, and we couldn't remember. So if anybody knows where the second pick came from, let us know. Round 3, we have pick 69. Round 4, we have pick 100. Round 5, we have pick 133. Round 6, we have 165. We do not have a round 7 anymore. We traded that away last week, the week before, recently. This will probably change. It probably will change on the floor.
While 100%. Everything always changes on the floor. Like right before someone goes up, it's like, oh, actually, this is now for like the Capitals.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting.
Okay. I think I found it. I think we got 2 picks from the Freddie one, but I'm double checking the trade. Because we flipped the fourth round.
One of them we then traded away.
Yeah, that was the 4th round one. I think we also got a second for him, but I'm double checking the trade and I'm trying to find it real quick.
So confusing at this point. At one point we had a tracker. I don't know, or I had a tracker. I don't know what I did with it.
I'm trying to find the tracker.
Because I had it spelled out. Oh, I had it on our Instagram at one point.
Oh, okay, I found it. We got the second round. 2 of them, yep.
God, this was a long time ago. Oh, yeah. You're right. The 4th round pick was the one we traded away. Got it. I forgot I made that.
I'm so glad you made that.
Both of us being in our favor. Look at us.
We're very organized people, and then we come on the podcast and our organization goes out the window because
our ADHD wins.
There's a spreadsheet for the podcast that I don't think we've used in a hot minute, and there's a document as well.
No, I pulled it up the other day because I have a new local business that I'm working with for their social media, and I pulled it up the other day to be like, this is an example of a content calendar I use. Don't look at that one. I don't use that anymore.
We use it during the season, and then the season stopped, and the Bruins stopped. The season continued. So we stopped using it because we didn't need to update the Bruins stuff anymore. But we're very organized. We literally open tabs before we come on here, and we plan out what we're going to talk about. And then the ADHD kicks in the moment we hit live, and it goes out the window.
Yeah. It's like a blessing and a curse with this podcast is we feel like we're just FaceTiming / with you guys commenting and like adding to our FaceTime. So I feel like conversationally it's like fun, but then like when I look back, I'm like, oh, what did we talk about?
We gotta talk about these 5 things.
I'm like, where did this come from? There was something last week. I was pulling clips last week for socials, and I was like, how did we get here? ADHD. Okay.
The ADHD train just took off.
We need like a button. We need something on YouTube. Never mind. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole.
No. Something, but like it's not as bad as one time Jacob and I were in the car. He was driving and a squirrel ran by the road, and he has severe ADHD. Like, I have it, you have it. He has it 10 times worse than me. Both of us immediately turned our heads, looked at it, and went squirrel. Like we had an actual squirrel moment.
That's funny. Well, the last thing we have to chat about today, potentially, is after the draft takes place, we will have the development camp that will start on Monday, the 30th. This roster is as of the 17th. There probably will be additions after the draft, depending on availability of those who are drafted. And this will be at Warrior Ice Arena. I don't know if it's open to the public. I don't remember, to be entirely honest. But check out the Bruins website. 4 times the forwards go at a different time than the defensemen on ice because they do weight room. They switch weight room and ice. There are some community visits scheduled in there through the week as well. But this is the current roster as of the 17th that will be in attendance for development camp. Ryan Walsh has a nice little asterisk next to his name. He will be limited to off-ice activities. A lot of names on here. I think the 2 that recently have been talked a lot about. One, of course, being Will Zellers. We got him at trade deadline. He's one of the top players in the USHL. It'll be interesting to see how he develops. Dean Letourneau was a draft pick last year that people had a lot of question marks on. I think it'll be nice to have him back at camp this year to see how much he's grown. This was his first year at a D1 school. I think some people were underwhelmed with his performance. I think realistically, though, most people who had followed him had expected that he was going to have a big learning curve. So I think it'll be interesting to see how much he grew in a year and to see what the coaches have to say about him more so. Jay Foley is going to be another one that people are going to have their eyes on as well. I mean, all of these guys we've got eyes on, right? Like this is our prospect pipeline right here. But a little bit of buzzer on CJ Foley too.
I'm excited for Jackson Edward though.
When?
I feel like he's gonna do great. I've had this faith in him. He's our replacement for Jack. He's the new Jack Edwards, apparently. Their names are close enough.
They're close enough. Was with Providence for 31 games last year and Maine for 7 games. Why is there an ad in the middle of my screen, bro? Go away. I hate computers. There's literally 4 ads in the middle of my page. I can't see anything.
What are you on?
Elite Prospects.
Oh, I went to NHL to look at him. He has a weird little mustache in his photo, and I don't like it.
You want to know who else's mustache I hated? Bradley Marchand. Want to know what else? His playoff beard.
It wasn't grown in properly. What was that? And it's grown in on him before. Is it because he's getting old? Is that why it's not growing in?
Yes. He's getting old.
He's getting old.
The goalie piece of this is also going to be interesting with the recent Cameron Corpy signing and still the lack of signings of Providence goalies right now.
Can I make a joke?
I'm ready for it.
We have the Corpy replacement.
I'm so ready for other Corpy to be gone.
We have Corpy 2.0.
Corpy 2.0? I don't think he's ready for the big time yet, but...
No, but he's there. We have a Corpy replacement. So technically, we don't lose him if we trade him.
I truly hope... I said it last week. I'll say it again. I truly hope we use Corpy as a trade.
I do too. I feel like he's the best piece to use right now because I know everyone's going to say prospects are, but he wants to be a full-time goalie. There are teams that need goalies that are good, and honestly, send him to the Oilers if he wants to go there. They need a goalie. Goalie Bob worked with him, built his confidence.
We take Connor Garland. It's a win-win in my book. We're not getting Connor Garland anytime soon. But
Draisaitl for Corpy. Who says no?
Well, there's a little rumor going around that there is a why did I say you said Oilers and I said Connor Garland? I went straight to Canucks. I thought we were going with that trade there for a second.
No, you just have your eyes set on him. That's what it is.
I want Connor Garland to be a Bruin so bad. I don't want Draisaitl though. I feel like he's not going to want to leave the Oilers, though, the way the past 2 seasons have gone.
No.
He's too stubborn. I can't see him leaving.
Mm-mm.
Or McDavid. I didn't like Kachuk's comment about, like, McDavid getting a cup wherever he is. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
That's one thing I haven't liked is a lot of the stuff that's come out of the Panthers' mouths since winning.
Or like Bennett's thing about like, oh, let me apologize and then to fucking nobody. Yeah. I'm sorry. The pots, by the way, not to get sidetracked. There's a bug flying in my room. I'm sorry. That just distracted me. But who was it? Why can't I think of his name? Nashville. Why can't Bennett hit him, he got a concussion, and now he has POTS, and they revealed that, and I can't remember his name for the life of me.
I can't either.
Oh, shit. What is his name? I'm going to feel so dumb when I remember it.
No, truly. Same. I don't like how they have been acting since they won. It just rubs me the wrong way.
Like, some of it's fine. It's just the comments are icky.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
It'll be interesting. We'll see. Still no sign of a Morgan Geekie signing.
I started it today. I started the re-signing tweets, which I know are probably like day 40 plus at this point, but I started it today. So today is day one of waiting for the Boston Bruins to re-sign Morgan Geekie.
Yep. I was just making sure there was no other big trades while we're on.
There's going to be a trade like the moment we get off or something.
Rangers resign, Flames resign. Nope, last big trade was Zagreus. So we're still good.
Good on him, though, for like going to the Flyers and getting to reunite with his friends. I also like the quote that came out about their GM.
Yes.
About how they'll look at guys and then he'll talk to the players and get their insight on what they think of the guy. Like, that's so smart and so good because you're building a team that wants to work together and you're not going to bring in someone that, like, if they all go, oh, I hate him, oh, he sucks, like, you're not going to bring him in. You're bringing in guys they like and they work with. And it's smart.
I feel like it just creates, like, a really good locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to make or break a team. Especially, like, the Flyers, when, like, you need some good morale there.
Yeah. I feel like they're going to have, like, the happiest locker room during this upcoming season.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be like the Sharks, where even if they lose a bunch, they're still going to be having fun and having that happy locker room.
I'll be interested to see how the Sharks draft this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
If they go for, like, younger prospects or if they go for guys who are more ready.
Do you want to make another prediction?
Not on draft picks, because I'm not good at that part.
Well, I was going to say, like, in terms of what we have, if we stay with one in the first round or end up with 2 or 0. Because there's rumors we could trade for another one, or we trade up and give away ours or end up with 2, or we give ours away. Like, there's been all these ones where either we swap it to get higher, so we give them 7, we somehow get a, like, later first round one, or we get rid of ours.
My prediction will be that we keep our 1. We'll keep number 7. I don't actually think we will, but I'm going to hope that we do because I think it'd be really dumb to trade it away.
I could see if we get, like, a really, really good guy that's ready to go that we really need for the top 6, we're going to give it away.
Yeah. I can see us trading a lot because of how empty our roster is right now.
I can also see us trading up, giving the 7th in someone like Lysel or Patra for like a top 5. I see that one happening. So I think we'll like keep a first round pick, but I don't think it's going to be our first round pick.
Yeah. Oh, Patra.
If we trade Patra, I'm actually going to be upset about that.
Yeah. Same. Also, this video of Marshy. Oh, words are hard. Marshy at the elbow room with like the "I'm not fucking leaving" and 4 fingers up just popped up again. It makes me itch.
He had to be taken out. Like, someone had to drag Brad out to leave. He has not been sober since they won that cup.
Ooh, Ty Anderson, 11 minutes ago, says that the 3.2 cap hit is reasonable for low rye.
And for a bridge year deal, too, honestly. It's a 2-year deal. An average bridge year deal. It's not like a make or break, oh, he's going to suck the next few seasons, we're going to be screwed out of money.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little, okay, is this your worth, or are you going to make us go higher with you and get a longer contract at a great price?
All right, Bruins are still good. So we'll have lots of announcements this week, so stay tuned to social media. It's going to be crazy as we do some drafties this weekend. It's going to be crazy. There's going to be lots of things. There's going to be trades. There's going to be drafting. So stay tuned to social media. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Pucks and PPs Pod. We will have a Discord link soon. Liz created an incredible Discord. We are just testing it with some friends, but then that will be available for the podcast. Anybody who wants to join and chat about podcast things, and for the book club. So we're really excited to get that going. But we'll send that Discord link out maybe this week. We'll see how we feel about it. We'll see. But otherwise, we also announced our bracket challenge winner. I am going to send her order her sweatshirt right after we get off because I forgot to do it this weekend, but I have her address to send her that. So congratulations to Carly for winning our bracket challenge. Super excited. It was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do more things like that. It's great.
I can't wait for next year's.
Yeah. Maybe the Bruins will actually be in it. Oh, if only.
I hope and I don't hope at the same time, because do I really need another delusional bracket where I make the Bruins win the cup? Because I have to make the Bruins win the cup.
Who was the President's Cup winner this year? The Capitals? It was somebody other than the Panthers. So the President's Cup.
I think it was the Capitals.
President's Cup curse continues.
Here, I'm going to pull it up. Who?
My eye just like.
No, it was the Jets.
Oh, yeah. Either way.
Still happened.
Womp womp. All right, friends. Well, follow BSCN at BSCN_617 on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. You can find the rest of our podcast friends on those socials as well in BSCN's bio. Words are hard. Follow us, Pucks and PPP Pod, whatever. It's on the screen. On Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
There.
And yeah, right there.
It's down there somewhere.
It's somewhere. My name is Emily. You can find me at HyperEmmy. Liz, where can people find you?
You can find me at Liz__Fraser.
Make sure you follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and wherever you listen to podcasts and YouTube and all the things. And we will be back next Monday. And it'll be great. We'll have lots of news. Until then,
maybe more predictions.
And more predictions.
It's the day before free agency.
Ooh. Oh, that'll be a heartbreaker. Oh man. I'm not ready for those predictions.
No. It'd be about who we get, not who we lose.
It's gonna be interesting. Very interesting. All right, friends. We'll see you next week. Bye.